Right, everybody, welcome back to Talk Tickers, the show where we, really dig deep into earnings calls and try to find those hidden gems in the market.
Yep.
And today, we've got a fascinating one.
Yeah.
It is Iron Mountain's
Ooh, Iron Mountain.
Q3 2024 earnings call.
All right.
So,
Looking forward to this one.
yeah, I'm excited to dig into this.
Yeah.
And you know what? They're exceeding expectations, Iron Mountain is.
They are, yeah. They absolutely crushed it this quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, record highs for revenue, adjusted EBITDA,
Right.
AFFO. I mean, just across the board.
Yeah, and it seems like they're really hitting their stride.
They are. Yeah.
Now, for those who might not be super familiar with Iron Mountain,
Uh-huh.
a lot of people think of them as, those giant record storage facilities.
All right, the warehouse is full of boxes.
Yeah, exactly. The ones you see in like movies and stuff.
Exactly, yeah.
But
yeah.
they've evolved into so much more than just boxes.
Way more. Yeah, they've really kind of branched out and become this multifaceted company that's involved in all sorts of things.
Yeah, and they've got these four key growth areas
Right.
that are really driving their success.
Yeah.
So we've got physical storage,
Uh-huh.
which is, also known as records management.
Yeah.
Then there's digital solutions,
That's a big one.
asset lifecycle management,
Right.
and data centers.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people don't realize they're in the data center business as well.
Right. That's a big surprise for a lot of folks.
Huge growth area for them.
Yeah. So let's
Let's break it down.
let's dive into each of these areas.
Okay.
And kind of see what's fueling Iron Mountain's success.
Sounds good.
So starting with, their bread and butter,
Yep.
physical storage, or records management.
Yeah.
Now, you might think, okay,
Mm-hmm.
in the digital age, physical storage,
Right.
is that?
Is that a dying business?
Yeah, it's really a thing.
Well, it's surprising.
It's alive and well.
It really is. Yeah. Even in this digital world that we live in.
Right.
There's still a huge need for secure physical storage.
Yeah.
Especially when you think about things like,
Right.
legal documents,
Mhm.
medical records, historical archives, all this stuff that,
Absolutely.
needs to be kept safe and secure.
Yeah.
And Iron Mountain is actually seeing really healthy growth in this area.
Okay.
I mean, we're talking mid to high single digits, which is pretty impressive.
Wow. Yeah, that is really strong, especially for, what you might consider kind of an old school business. And they're not just,
Yeah.
passively storing stuff.
Right.
They're actively winning big clients with this
Uh-huh.
like comprehensive approach.
Yeah, they're not just storing boxes. They're providing a whole suite of services around that,
Right.
which is really smart.
Yeah. And in the earnings call, they actually highlighted this major 7-year contract
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
with an Australian government department.
Right. Huge deal.
Huge deal. And it includes storage,
Yep.
digital solutions, even asset lifecycle management.
Yeah.
So they're really like a one-stop shop
They really are.
for all of these information needs.
It's a smart strategy. They're leveraging their expertise in physical storage to expand into these other areas.
Right.
And it just creates a really compelling value proposition for clients.
Right. I mean, it's like they're saying, hey, we can handle all of your information needs,
Exactly.
no matter what form it takes.
No matter what, yeah. Physical, digital, you name it. We got you covered.
Exactly. And that leads us perfectly into their second growth area,
Yeah.
which is digital solutions.
Okay, let's talk about that.
And this is where things get
This is where it gets really interesting.
really, really interesting.
Yeah, this is the exciting part.
Because they're seeing a whopping
Huge growth.
20% compound annual growth rate here,
Yeah.
which is just a clear sign that they are tapping into a major, major market trend.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
what's driving that growth?
Well, a lot of it is being driven by their new Insight Digital Experience Platform,
Yeah.
or DXP for short.
Right.
And this is a game changer
Okay.
because it allows customers to not only automate the creation of metadata for their digital assets,
Right.
but also manage, govern, and even monetize their data.
I love that, the monetize your data.
Yeah.
It really speaks to the potential of this platform. It's like
Life.
they're helping companies unlock this hidden value
Mm-hmm.
in all the information they have,
Absolutely. It's like they're sitting on this gold mine of data and they don't even know it.
right?
And Iron Mountain comes in and says, hey, we can help you turn this into something valuable.
Exactly. And they shared some great real-world examples in the call
Yeah, they did.
that really illustrate this point.
Yeah.
Like, there was a Mexican pension fund
Right.
that needed to digitize millions of records to comply with new regulations.
Yeah, big project.
And Iron Mountain stepped in with DXP and made it happen.
Yeah, and saved them a ton of time and money in the process.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there was that story about
the
U.S. healthcare company using DXP to,
to better match records.
Yeah, better match records.
Yeah, which led to eliminating ineligible claims.
Right.
So they were saving money and streamlining their operations all at the same time.
Right. So these are tangible benefits.
Real results.
Not just hype.
Right, exactly. This isn't just some pie-in-the-sky idea.
Right.
This is stuff that's actually working and generating real value for their customers.
And Iron Mountain is actually already generating revenue from this platform.
They are, yeah.
So it's not just, a future potential.
Right.
It's something that's happening right now.
It's a real business.
And it's clearly something that they see as, a key driver of future growth.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's move on to growth area number 3, which is asset lifecycle management.
All right, ALM.
Or ALM.
Yeah.
Now, this one might not be as flashy as, digital solutions.
It's not as sexy.
Right. It's not as, buzzworthy.
It's important.
But it's still a crucial part of the,
of the whole
data management ecosystem.
The management ecosystem, absolutely.
Yeah.
And guess what?
They're seeing over 20% growth here as well.
Over 20%, yep. So
clearly there's something to this.
What is ALM all about?
So it's basically all about securely disposing of IT assets.
Okay.
Which is more important now than ever.
Right.
With data privacy and environmental concerns and all that.
About all those regulations.
Yeah, exactly. You can't just toss your old computers and servers in the dumpster anymore.
Right.
You got to make sure that the data is wiped and that the hardware is disposed of properly.
You got to be responsible.
Exactly. And that's where Iron Mountain comes in.
So we're talking about computers, servers, smartphones.
All that stuff, yeah. Businesses.
Yeah, businesses, data centers, anyone who's got a lot of IT equipment that they need to get rid of.
Right.
Iron Mountain can handle it.
They're like the cleanup crew.
Yeah, kind of. The secure cleanup crew,
Yes.
making sure everything is handled properly and responsibly.
And they even mentioned some strategic acquisitions in this space.
She did, yeah. They've been busy on the acquisition front.
Wise Tech and APCD.
Yep, those were 2 big ones.
Which are expanding their global reach.
Yeah, it's a pretty fragmented market right now.
Okay.
But Iron Mountain is making moves to consolidate it.
I see. So they're kind of becoming the big fish.
Yeah, they're definitely one of the leaders in this space.
And what I found really fascinating about this segment is its connection to the hyperscalers.
Right.
So we're talking, those
the big guys.
huge companies like Google, Amazon, Microsoft,
Right.
who are building these giant
Cloud empire.
cloud infrastructure.
Exactly. They're constantly upgrading their equipment.
Right.
Which creates this steady stream of assets
That need to be
disposed of properly.
Right. You can't just
Exactly. You can't just throw a server farm in the landfill.
throw away those servers, right?
Right, exactly. And with the growing demand for things like GPUs for AI,
Right.
that trend is only going to accelerate.
It is.
Which means more business for Iron Mountain.
So they're really kind of positioned to ride the wave of both cloud computing and AI.
Yeah, they're at the intersection of 2 huge trends.
Exactly.
Which is a pretty good place to be.
That's a smart place to be.
Yeah.
Okay, so last but not least.
Okay, let's talk about this one.
Growth area number 4, data centers.
All right, data centers. I'm excited to dig into this.
This might surprise some people.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that Iron Mountain is in the data center business.
Yeah, they're like, wait, Iron Mountain does data centers?
Exactly. But they do.
It's booming.
And it's booming.
Over 20% growth here.
Yeah.
Driven by
just insatiable demand for data storage and processing power.
Right. I mean, everyone needs more data storage.
Everyone, yeah.
All the time.
All the time. It's a never-ending need.
And they teased a couple of really intriguing examples in the call.
They did, yeah.
Like a global tech company that is doubling down on space with them.
Yeah.
So they're already a customer.
Right. They're already a customer.
And they're like, we need more.
Give us more.
And then a fintech firm choosing Iron Mountain specifically
for
their
compliance standards.
High compliance standards, which is, really important in that industry.
Absolutely. So they're attracting some serious players in the tech world.
They are. Yeah, they're not just, renting space to anyone who walks in the door.
Right.
They're getting some big names, some reputable companies.
Yeah, they're being selective. Yeah, they're choosing their clients carefully.
It seems like they're kind of curating.
Yeah, they're building a high-quality data center portfolio.
Right. They're not just trying to be the biggest.
Exactly.
They're trying to be the best.
The best, the most secure, the most reliable.
Yeah. And that's a smart strategy.
Absolutely. And it seems to be working.
It really does.
Yeah.
And they're not just, sitting back and watching the market grow.
No.
They're actively expanding.
Yeah. They're being proactive.
Your data center footprint.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that new Richmond, Virginia development site they mentioned?
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's adding
Massive.
a massive 200 megawatts
Yeah, a lot of power.
of capacity.
Yeah.
So that's a clear sign that
That's serious.
committed
Not messing around.
to being a major player
Yeah, they want to be a dominant force in the data center market.
in this space.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's a bold move,
It is.
but it makes sense.
It does, given the demand they're seeing.
Right.
I mean, the market is it's exploding.
And it ties back to that theme of diversification
Right.
we talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
They're building
A platform.
a truly global platform
Yeah, not just a company, a platform.
that can serve client needs
Right. They want to be the one-stop shop
across multiple segments.
for all your data needs.
Okay, so we've covered the 4
Yeah.
key growth areas.
Yeah.
Now let's get
Get
into
down to the numbers.
the nitty-gritty
Yeah.
and talk numbers.
Okay, let's talk financials.
What did their financials look like
All right.
this quarter?
Well, the headline numbers are pretty impressive.
Okay.
They pulled in $1.56 billion in revenue,
Okay.
which is a 12% increase year over year.
Wow, that's strong.
Yeah, it's healthy growth.
Yeah.
And their adjusted EBITDA margin expanded by a healthy 50 basis points.
Now,
Yeah.
for those who might not be familiar
Right.
with EBITDA,
Yeah, it's a mouthful.
what does that stand for?
So EBITDA stands for earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization.
Okay.
Essentially, it's a way to measure a company's operating profitability.
So a higher EBITDA margin means?
It means they're becoming more efficient
Okay.
at generating profits from their core operations.
So that's a good sign for any investor, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
It means they're not just growing revenue, they're...
They're getting better at controlling costs
Okay.
and maximizing profitability. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And on that note,
Uh-huh.
their AFFO per share,
Right.
that's adjusted funds from operations,
Yep. Another key metric for REITs,
which is
like Iron Mountain.
another key metric for real estate investment trusts.
Exactly.
Like Iron Mountain
Yeah.
is up 10%.
10%. Yeah.
Okay.
So they're firing on all cylinders here.
They're growing revenue, expanding margins, and
Increasing AFO.
increasing AFO.
Yeah.
Good story. Sounds like they're hitting on all cylinders.
Yeah, hitting on all
Yeah.
cylinders. They are.
But where is all this revenue coming from?
Right. That's the key question.
What's the breakdown between
Yeah, let's break it down.
their different segments?
Okay, so they broke out the revenue split between storage and services.
Okay.
And it's worth noting that services are actually accelerating at a faster pace.
Okay.
Organic service revenue growth was up 10% year over year,
Wow.
which is their best quarterly performance in the last 2 years.
Okay, so what does that tell us?
Oh.
Why is the growth in services so significant?
Well, first of all, services typically have higher margins than storage.
Okay.
So as their service revenue grows,
Mhm.
it has a positive impact on their overall profitability.
Okay.
But it also speaks to the evolution of Iron Mountain's business model.
In what way?
They're moving beyond simply providing storage space
Right.
and becoming a true solutions provider.
Okay.
They're helping clients manage their data, protect their information, and extract value from their assets.
Right.
And those services are in high demand right now.
So it's like they're tapping into this,
Growing need
this growing need.
for expertise in navigating this increasingly complex digital landscape.
Right, because it's not enough to just store data anymore.
No, it's not just about storage anymore.
You need to know how to
You need to know how to manage it, secure it,
manage it, secure it,
make sense of it.
make sense of it.
And that's where Iron Mountain's expertise really shines.
Okay, so we've got strong overall growth,
Yep.
accelerating service revenue,
Uh-huh.
expanding margins.
Mm-hmm.
It paints a
Very positive picture.
very positive picture.
Yeah.
But they did mention some headwinds
Right.
from the
Some
strong
U.S. dollar.
U.S. dollar.
Yeah, that's something to keep an eye on.
What impact did that have
Well,
on their numbers?
it's definitely a factor to consider.
Okay.
A strong U.S. dollar can make their services more expensive for international clients,
Right.
which can potentially impact revenue.
Okay.
but I think it's important to put it in perspective.
How so?
First of all, it's not a reflection of any weakness in Iron Mountain's underlying business.
Right.
It's a macroeconomic factor that's affecting many companies with global operations.
Okay.
The dollar has been particularly strong lately.
Yeah, it has.
So it's not surprising that they're feeling some pressure there.
That's true.
But you also mentioned something about this being a testament to their global footprint,
Right.
which sounds a bit counterintuitive.
Yeah, a little bit.
But think of it this way. The fact that they're experiencing these currency headwinds actually highlights their global reach.
Okay.
They have operations all over the world, which means they're diversified geographically.
Okay.
And that diversification can be a huge advantage in the long run.
So it's a bit of a double-edged sword.
It is, yeah.
The strong dollar hurts in the short term,
Mm-hmm.
but it also demonstrates their global presence,
Right.
which is a
Long
strength
terms.
for the future.
Exactly.
It's an interesting nuance to consider.
It is. It's all about context. And in the context of Iron Mountain's overall performance this quarter,
Uh-huh.
I think those foreign exchange headwinds are manageable.
Okay.
They've got a lot of positive momentum going for them.
All right, so we've covered the growth,
Uh-huh.
the financials,
Yep.
foreign exchange situation.
All right.
What else should we dig into
Well,
from this earnings call?
I think it's worth taking a closer look at their capital allocation strategy.
Okay.
This gives us insights into how they're planning for the future and what their priorities are.
Let's unpack that.
Okay.
What's their approach to capital allocation?
So they highlighted 3 key areas of focus.
Okay.
Funding their growth initiatives,
Uh-huh.
delivering returns to shareholders,
Okay.
and maintaining a strong balance sheet.
Okay.
Essentially, it's about finding the right balance between investing for the future,
Right.
rewarding investors,
Mm-hmm.
and ensuring financial stability.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Those are all important considerations for
any company.
any company.
Absolutely.
So how are they balancing those priorities in practice?
Well, on the growth front, they're investing heavily in their data center business.
Oh.
A significant portion of their capital expenditures this quarter went towards expanding their data center footprint,
Right.
including that new development site in Richmond we talked about earlier.
Makes sense, given the huge demand and growth potential.
Yeah, they're putting their money where their mouth is, so to speak,
Right.
but they're also committed to delivering returns to shareholders.
Okay.
They recently declared a quarterly dividend of 0.70115 cents per share,
Right.
which will be paid out in early January.
Okay.
This shows that they're not just focused on growth.
Uh-huh.
They're also sharing the rewards with their investors.
And what about maintaining a strong balance sheet?
Right. Well, they emphasize their commitment to prudent debt management.
Okay.
They're not going on a spending spree and racking up a ton of debt.
Okay.
They're being strategic about their investments and ensuring they can maintain a healthy financial position.
So it sounds like they're taking a very balanced and disciplined approach.
They are, yeah.
They're investing for growth, but they're also being mindful of
Their financial obligation
the financial obligations
and their responsibility to shareholders.
and their responsibility to shareholders.
Yeah.
That's a good sign for any
Long-term investment.
long-term investor.
Absolutely.
It speaks to the maturity of their management team
Mhm.
and their commitment to sustainable growth.
Right. They're not just chasing short-term gains.
Right.
They're building a solid foundation for the future.
Okay, so we've covered the growth,
Yep.
the financials, the foreign exchange situation, and their capital allocation strategy.
Right.
Anything else we should highlight
Wow.
before we move on?
There was one detail that caught my eye
Okay.
that I thought was quite insightful.
What's that?
They mentioned a significant improvement in their cash cycle this quarter. Specifically, their days sales outstanding. That's the average number of days it takes them to collect payment from customers was down by over 5 days year over year.
Wow.
They also improved their days payable, the time it takes them to pay their own suppliers, by 2 days.
Now that might sound a bit technical.
Yeah, it's a little in the weeds.
But why is that noteworthy?
It's a sign of operational efficiency.
Okay.
They're getting better at collecting cash from their customers more quickly and managing their own payments more effectively.
Okay.
This improves their cash flow and gives them more flexibility to invest in growth initiatives.
So it's not just about the big picture stuff,
Right.
like revenue and earnings.
It's about the details
It's also about,
of how they manage their operations.
right, the detail.
And those details can have a big impact on their overall performance.
So they're really kind of like fine-tuning their machine.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
Every part needs to be working smoothly to maximize efficiency and output. And Iron Mountain seems to be doing a great job of fine-tuning those operational details.
So we've got strong growth,
Mm-hmm.
healthy financials,
Mm-hmm.
manageable foreign exchange situation,
Yeah.
a balanced capital allocation strategy,
Right.
and improving operational efficiency.
It's a pretty impressive report card.
Yeah, it's a pretty impressive report card overall.
They're doing a lot of things right.
But what about their outlook
Right.
for the rest of the year?
Yeah, what do they see coming down the pike?
Did they give any guidance
They
on
did.
what they expect going forward?
They reiterated their full-year guidance
Okay,
and expressed confidence in their ability to achieve the high end of their projections.
so they're basically saying
They're on track
they're on track.
to meet or exceed their targets for the year.
So that's a strong vote of confidence
It is, yeah.
from the management team.
Absolutely. They're putting their necks out there a little bit.
Right.
But based on their current performance and the market trends they're seeing, they're optimistic about the future.
Okay, so we've covered
A lot of ground.
a lot of ground here.
We have
The
hit
big picture growth drivers
Mhm.
to the finer points
to the details.
of their financial performance
It's
and operational efficiency.
been a deep dive.
Any final thoughts
Well,
on the financial side of things?
I just think it's refreshing to see a company that's delivering both strong growth and sound financial management.
Right.
It's a rare combination,
It is, yeah.
and it makes Iron Mountain a very compelling company to watch.
I agree.
Yeah,
They're firing on all cylinders,
they are.
and they seem to have a
Clear vision
clear vision for the future.
for where they're going.
But now
Mm.
it's time for the fun part,
All right, here we go.
where we put on our speculative hats.
Let's get speculative.
A potentially wild trade idea
Yeah, a potentially wild trade idea based on
based on what we've learned.
what we've learned.
Right. Now remember,
Yeah.
this is purely hypothetical
Right. This is just for fun.
and definitely not financial advice.
Definitely not financial advice.
Are you ready to get outrageous?
I'm always ready to get outrageous. Hit me with it. Always ready to get a little outrageous. Hit me with it. What's the crazy idea brewing in that financial brain of yours?
Okay, so we know Iron Mountain is killing it. They're
Okay.
exceeding expectations, growing like crazy,
Uh-huh.
and strategically positioned in some
Markets.
really hot markets like data centers and digital solutions.
Yes, they're in the right place at the right time, it seems like.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
Despite all this good news,
Uh-huh.
IRM stock actually dipped almost 9% on the day of the earnings call.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense. Why would the stock drop after such a strong performance?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
It seems like the market might be missing something here.
Hmm.
Maybe they're still stuck on that old image
Yeah.
of Iron Mountain as just a storage company.
Yeah, like they're just boxes.
Yeah, they're not fully grasping the scale of their transformation
Right.
and the long-term
Different.
potential
Of their growth strategy.
of their growth strategy.
Okay, I see where you're going with this. You're thinking this stock dip could be a buying opportunity.
Exactly.
Interesting.
It's like finding a $100 bill on the sidewalk.
Uh-huh.
Everyone else is walking right past it
Yeah.
because they don't realize what it is.
They don't see it.
But we,
Uh-huh.
my friends,
Yeah.
have done our due diligence.
We've done our homework.
We've dug into the earnings call. We've analyzed the financials,
We've looked under the hood.
and we see the value that the market seems to be overlooking.
Like it's a contrarian play,
It is
but that's where the big gains can be found.
right.
Buying when everyone else is selling.
Buy low.
Sell high, that's the name of the game.
That's the goal.
But what's the catalyst?
Right.
What's going to make the market wake up and realize
Yeah,
that they've undervalued Iron Mountain?
that's the big question, right? It could be a number of things.
Like what?
Maybe they announce a major new partnership
Okay.
with a hyperscaler
Right.
like Google or Amazon.
Uh-huh.
Maybe they blow past their guidance in the next quarter
Okay.
and demonstrate that this growth is sustainable.
Right. Prove that it's not just a fluke,
Right.
that this is the real deal.
Or maybe,
Maybe
just
again.
maybe,
Yeah.
the market slowly starts to realize
Okay.
that they've been sleeping on this company.
Right. They've been ignoring it.
And the stock price starts to climb as more investors catch on.
I see. So it's a waiting game.
It is. It's a bit of a gamble.
It is a gamble for sure.
But the potential reward
Could be significant.
could be significant.
Yeah.
Iron Mountain is like
What?
a stealth bomber in the market.
I like that analogy.
They're quietly flying under the radar
Uh-huh.
while building a massive business.
Right. Nobody's paying attention
And you're betting that
until it's too late.
eventually it's going to be impossible to ignore them.
Yeah, they're going to be so big, so successful
Any longer.
that everyone's going to have to take notice.
Exactly.
It's a bold bet.
It's an outrageous idea.
It is,
Yeah.
but it's not entirely implausible.
It's not entirely implausible.
No, it's definitely possible.
Of course.
Yeah.
I have to reiterate that this is just a fun thought experiment,
Right.
not financial advice.
Of course, always do your own research.
Always do your own research
And consult with a financial professional.
before making any investment decisions.
Absolutely. Don't just take our word for it.
Right.
Do your own homework.
But it is a good reminder that sometimes the best opportunities
Yeah.
are the ones that others miss.
The ones that are hidden in plain sight.
You just have to be willing to look a little deeper
Mm-hmm.
and challenge
Conventional wisdom.
conventional wisdom.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to think differently.
All right, so before we wrap up,
Okay.
let's take a step back
All right. Big picture time.
and think about the bigger picture here.
Okay. I'm ready.
What does Iron Mountain's transformation tell us about
About the world
the world we live in
we live in.
and the trends that are shaping the future?
That's a good question.
I think it highlights a few key themes
Uh-huh.
that are really reshaping
The global economy.
the global economy.
Like what?
First, the explosion of data.
Oh, yeah. That's a big one.
We're creating more information than ever before.
It's exploding.
And that's not going to slow down anytime soon.
No, it's only going to get worse or better, depending on how you look at it.
Right.
But either way, there's going to be a lot more data.
This creates a huge need for storage, management, and security,
Right. All the things that Iron Mountain does.
which plays right into their strength.
Exactly. They're perfectly positioned to capitalize on this trend.
It's like they're riding the wave of the digital tsunami.
I like that they're surfing the data wave.
They're not just surviving
Yeah.
in this new data-driven world.
They're thriving.
They're thriving.
Yeah, they're not just treading water, they're actually making progress.
And that speaks to their adaptability and their ability to anticipate market trends.
Right. They're not just reacting to what's happening. They're looking ahead and trying to figure out what's coming next.
They started with physical storage, but they didn't stay there.
They evolved.
They evolved.
Yeah.
They evolved into digital solutions, asset lifecycle management, and data centers.
They're constantly expanding their capabilities to meet the changing needs of their clients.
And I think that's a valuable lesson for any business in today's
Rapidly
evolving landscape.
Right. If you're not moving forward, you're falling
You
behind.
can't afford to stand still.
Yep.
You have to be willing to adapt, innovate,
Embrace new technology.
embrace new technologies
Stay ahead of the curve.
to stay ahead of the curve.
It's a constant race.
It is.
And Iron Mountain seems to be winning it.
They're doing a good job.
They are.
Iron Mountain is a prime example of that. They're not afraid to disrupt themselves
Yeah.
and push into new areas.
Right. They're not afraid to take risks.
And that's what's allowing them to stay relevant and competitive
In a world that's constantly changing.
in a world that's constantly changing.
It's impressive.
All right, folks, we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have. It's been a long journey.
We've dug deep into Iron Mountain's earnings call,
Uh-huh.
analyzed their financial performance,
Yep.
explored some outrageous but plausible trade ideas.
And had some fun along the way.
But before we sign off,
Okay.
I want to leave you with one final thought.
Great. Hit me with it.
Iron Mountain is a company that's often overlooked.
Yeah, they're kind of under the radar.
They're not as flashy as some of the big tech giants,
Right. They're not the Apples and Googles of the world.
but they're quietly building a massive
And highly profitable.
and highly profitable business that's deeply embedded
In the fabric of the digital economy.
in the fabric of the digital economy.
They're essential.
And that, my friends,
Yeah,
is something worth paying attention to.
absolutely. Don't ignore Iron Mountain.
Well said.
Thank you.
All right, everyone, that's a wrap for this episode of Talk Tickers.
It's been a good one.
We hope you enjoyed this deep dive
Into Iron Mountain.
into Iron Mountain's Q3 earnings call.
Yep.
Remember, this is not financial advice.
Always do your own research.
Always do your own research and make your own informed decisions.
Right. Be smart out there.
And as always,
Yeah.
we encourage you to stay curious, stay informed,
Keep learning.
and keep exploring those hidden corners of the market.
There's always something new to discover.
You never know what gems you might uncover.
Exactly.
Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you
On the next episode.
on the next episode of Talk Tickers.